We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
Check it out now. I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous, you heard of us. Official Queensbridge murderers. The mob comes equipped.
What up?
Yeah, son.
What's up, fellas? I know we have better days, but we got to power through it, man. It's a rough stretch for our Metsies, and no days off, right? Well, some of us had days off last week, so we were actually at the game. OV wanted a day off. He's in Chicago right now, but he here. PTO denied, my brother.
PTO denied. I'm on the west side of Chicago looking for a bus down. What's up?
8 in a row, so we're not gonna sugarcoat it. Ain't great, but this is a couple of good highlights. So let's start with that. We got a nice little highlight for you from yesterday. See what you think about that. It was the play of the day.
That's
what's up?
That's nasty.
Go Gadget. That shit was wild.
You laugh, keep from crying.
Yes. Well, I wasn't laughing. Not last night.
Yeah, we're cracking.
Everybody was in space yesterday. You heard me to speak with some authority because that shit was whack. I mean, it's not just that you played that bad, is that you got embarrassed in national TV, blah blah blah, ESPN, Ohtani. You got Ohtani changing his fucking not his profile pic, but putting that shit in his fucking Instagram with Alvi. The whole Dodger shit just. I know we're trying to like one day be like them, and or hopefully make at least the streak that they're going when it comes to playoff success and eventually winning a couple of World Series. But to play like that against them, especially in a series that Nolan McLean has his best start of his career. Let's be real. That shit was beautiful. Must-see TV, especially if you saw the second and part of the third game before it went to nuts, when it went crazy. And we didn't do enough. So that shit was right. So obviously, the Post doesn't really do that much spaces when they're in the West Coast, unless it's like a big win or something that could do a quick space and we could get a couple of speakers up. Oh, but we had a space last night to 3:00 in the morning. So we want to, if y'all missed that, we want to give you some highlights about that. So I think it's my rant first and then Randy's rant. I hope you enjoy it. Sometimes you gotta laugh.
Yeah, man. These Twitter streets have been crazy recently, right? So let me pull up. We had a couple good rants. Shout out to everybody that pulled up. But yeah,
shout out to you, cousins, because you the MVP last night, and White Charlie, man. Yeah, you motherfuckers is funny as fuck, man.
Charlie's next level, kid.
Yo,
tip of the cap to little Charlie, bro.
Shout out to everybody. Yeah, let me pull it up here. This is it right here, right, Pope? The first one here.
This is that one, yeah, that's the one. Fucked up. I was a little saucy, so. First question asked, where the fuck is Randy's vision? Get up here, Randy's vision. You told me that you had a vision, man. That shit's not it. That's the worst piece of shit of baseball that I've seen for 9 fucking innings. I saw fucking Go Gadget in right field throwing gloves in the air. Not it.
Oh, God.
The Pope he keeps it real, man. When this team sucks. It's time to keep it real, guys. I told you today it was 2023 vibes. That's where I felt. Go Gadget is what I saw in right field. What a joke. We give you discords. We give you spaces. What do the Mets give you? Fucking Steve Cohen tweets up your fucking ass. That's what you get, guys. Where is it? Steve Cohen, where you at now, baby?
Jeez.
Where you at? Where's the 58% at?
Go Gadget right fielder. Carson Bench. Top 20. Let me throw the glove up in the air. We got it.
That was an A1
Special guest
Wagyu
today.
beef.
It's my guy Cousins.
Motherfucking crash out.
The best,
wait,
the best part of that was the end right there.
The end right there. Play that back because I went crazy, but then I want to introduce Cousins right there real quick.
Let me go forward. Hold on. Let me see. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
right there. Go to the end.
Let me see.
Top 20. Let me throw the glove up in the air. We got it.
Niggas.
Right.
Special guest today is my guy Cousins. Hasn't been in Queens basement for a long time.
Yo, not
Oh,
the Cousins, bro.
shit,
So all right. First, I don't know why
man.
Randy got all the heat and Carson Bench.
Charge that.
Oh shit.
Carson Bench. Are you gonna play the Randy shit?
No, go ahead. Give your
Yeah,
take and
real
I'll play it
So
out.
I don't know why fucking Randy, who's gonna go through his own rant right now, which is fucking fantastic, got all the heat last night, and
Taking
Carson Bench
strays.
somehow got my heat for some reason. It should have been the whole fucking team, but I was trying to say Inspector Gadget, but the first thing that came out of my mouth was Go Gadget. And if I hear that fucking rant from the beginning, I start talking to myself because OV was at the crib and he had the space on speaker, so I thought it was him agreeing with me, but it was me agreeing with myself. I was listening to myself, so I was like, yeah. So it's just fucking ridiculous, bro. Bourbon will do that to you.
Yeah,
after
we were
some
drinking
shots, so
too, bro. The meth will make you do that. Yeah.
it really will. So
Oh man.
I have a couple of comments on some of the stuff that I said, but I want Randy's rant to go because you saw I threw a little shot to the owner.
Turn your volume down, audience.
Yeah, if your volume's
your
up,
discretion is advised.
turn it down a little bit. All right, let's listen to Randy here.
Sure, kids is not around here.
Lindor, what the fuck was that, Lindor? Charge that ball. Lindor, charge that ball, Lindor! What the fuck? It's 2-1, Lindor! It's 2-1! It's 2-1! And you not charging the ball! Charge that ball, bro! The fuck you doing, man? How many mental mistakes you gonna have? How many mental mistakes? My lord, bro! It's a whole list.
Careful, Randy. Don't have a stroke
It's a
now.
whole.
I love
Lindor,
you.
what the fuck was that?
Oh god,
Yo,
bro.
son.
Oh man, we might have
I
to
felt
turn
like I
that
was
into a
getting
drop
robbed, bro.
of some sort, bro.
Lindor had so many mistakes, mental mistakes, that Randy had a mental mistake at that time, son. I mean, it was crazy.
Shout out to Flip.
Randy was- yeah.
Oh man.
All right, so
Listen.
that's what we had the replay got like no lie, guys, over 100 replays. By the way, that fucking space.
Flip is in the
So
chat.
it sucks. Rick said it today. It's like when you lose, the crash outs are funny. So I hope y'all laughed a little bit. I hope you're gonna laugh a little bit today. Go Gadget, Inspector Gadget, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's the calm before the storm, right? You know what I'm saying? So the storm is here. Now maybe we get some fucking grass growing or some shit. Cause my God. So my comment to Mr. Steve Cohen. I know the guys had their own opinion. I didn't get to state mine because I was at the game last week. But this is why I had such an issue with what he did last week. Now, 8 games later, we still haven't won a game, calling out the fans. And you had your right to do that. Like, that's it's your team. You could tweet what you want. But I'm getting to a point where I feel more comfortable if he doesn't tweet. You know what I'm saying? That's just me, though. That's my opinion. That's the Pope's opinion. I know the guys don't feel like that. I feel very strongly about that because you're gonna go through stretches like this. Maybe not a 8-game losing streak, but stuff that's just not gonna feel right. And it didn't feel right when he said it. And this is the stuff that I was worrying about. And there's always a reaction to that. You know what I'm saying? Negatives are gonna come out. I was one of them last night. You fucking heard me. That I wish I could say to you that was look. I was 100% really upset of the team. So. And fucking, we have again, I said it, we have a Discord, we have a Queens Baseball Live, a YouTube now, we have the spaces that 2, 3, 4, 500 people becoming at a time. It's crazy. The community is growing, the Queens Baseball community is growing, and it's like the team ain't showing up. So that's bothersome. But let me start with y'all feelings, how y'all feel about the team. So Swift, I'm gonna go to you first. How we doing, Papa? How we feeling about the team?
Yeah, man. I'm usually Mr. Positive, and I usually try to keep an even keel about this team. Listen, there isn't much we're doing right now. I mean, right? The only little bit of solace that we have is that Nolan McClain looks head and shoulders above most of the pitchers that we see in baseball. And I'm going to give you the positives because I know the guys are just going to kind of harp on the negatives a little bit because and I'm speaking from a person that comes from a positive mindset about this team regardless, right? This is a team with a lot of flaws that are showing. A lot of the questions that people had before the season, like where really did we have to trade some of these guys? Did we have to not give Pete Alonso that contract? And all of those things have to be looked at this point. All of those things have to be looked at. But I think what I said on the space yesterday, not the crash out 1 a.m. space. Okay, because your boy, I like turned off the TV, bro. I threw that fucking remote and I sat there in silence just trying to figure out like where my life had come to, that I'm now sitting 1 a.m. like wondering why I'm rooting for this team. And I'm sure a lot of us have done that over the course of years, because all of us have been Met fans for years, have done that, have had that existential, like, I'm just talking to myself like, man, what were they thinking? And we can get into the games, the last couple of games against the Dodgers, right? The Dodgers, before this season started, we circled this little stretch, the Dodgers and the Cubs, and we said, we're gonna circle this, and this will be like a nice little measuring stick to see, with all of the changes that were made, how are they doing, brothers? Oh man, we're not even on the scale at this point. We see how far we are from the team that we want to be. And I said this on a space yesterday. I said, we're mad about the results and we're aiming the gun and we're looking for somebody to shoot, right? So when we get on spaces, we're looking for, oh yeah, Mendoza, you fucking bozo, you're making the lineups. This Brett Beatty's batting third. What are you doing? Yeah, I can't even say anything to that. That's a valid criticism. What is Brett Beatty doing batting third, right? Oh, David Stearns, man, why'd you let all of these guys go? That's a valid criticism at this point. We don't have anything to say back to that. So even a guy as positive as me, and I'm gonna give it up to my guys and let them speak on it and how they feel. But there's nothing really for somebody like me. Like, I'm just grasping at straws. Like, give me more Nolan McClain highlights. When's the next Nolan McClain? When is he going to come up? Clay Holmes has done his thing, right? And we're looking for anything. So when J-Mac writes, hey, that was a good at bat by Lindor, everybody, he has to turn off the comments in his own tweet because people are just coming at him and attacking him for being like, for even thinking like, that wasn't a bad at bat. That's all he said. And he's getting attacked. So the fan base is angry, and rightfully so. So I yield to my guys to speak on where they at. I mean, Rick, Jay Fern, like, you guys, like, where are you guys at mentally right now, like, watching these games, if you did even stay up for all these games?
Where we at, Jay Fern?
So I tweeted something where it said, is there a way that we can clone Nolan McClain so he could be a left-handed pitcher? Because that's basically what we need. I don't know what else to say about Nolan McClain because he's been fucking spectacular, but I don't crash out. I'm one of the fans that try to be even keel as much as possible, but there's nothing positive that is coming out of these 8-game losing streak. It's sad to see. I don't lose confidence. I'm not going into the negative route, but it's a disheartening because I finally decided to give David Stearns a chance because I don't like him. I thought he was overrated, and this is how he's repaying me. So I'm kind of upset in that sense. These guys that he brought here, Polanco can't even walk. You play him a game, and then you have to wait 48 hours for his fucking Achilles to finally be ready. Why is he here? Anyways, Simeon was a trade where I'm at like, okay, we got the glove because we had no second baseman, and we got Gold Glover, and now that looks like shit. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna keep watching the games, and I'm just gonna keep being delusional and keep thinking that it's still early. We've played 19 games, and I still think this Mets team is gonna make the playoffs, but it's a sad thing to watch. I don't know where I'm at. I'm at where I think things are gonna get better. I don't know how. I have no answers, but it's just my fandom that allows me to keep thinking that way. Just for me, a lot of the fans I feel like are just finding a person and want them to they're like Swift said, you know, the swing at him or whatever the fuck it was. They're finding somebody and they want him to lean on the sword. And for me is I'm gonna give this team till Memorial Day to show me if this team is for real. After then, if they're not, then start selling and fire Mendoza because it's not gonna be it.
Yeah.
Hope you're muted, by the way.
Yeah. Do you want me to? Did you want to go to the comments, or you want me to?
The Pope is talking and I can't hear him.
Pope, your mic, bro.
Your mic, sir.
Yeah. Technical difficulty.
Yes.
There you go. You got you.
Yeah. Go ahead first. Go ahead first, bro. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, bro. I'm sick. I'm fucking sick. I'm trying to be positive. I'm not a crash out person either. Although while I'm watching the games, I crash out every game, just venting and shit like that. But I mean, I just don't see much to be positive about. Nolan McLean aside, obviously super excited about that kid. The pitching staff as a whole has been pretty good. I know Flip was talking about like the rankings, and I think they're right outside the top 10, I think, as of yesterday. So the pitching has been keeping us in games. For me, it's just this offense is frustrating, man. And I think the most frustrating thing out of all of it is just the stupid mistakes that continue to happen, whether it's the decisions that the organization makes on lineups, or if you want to say that's Mendy, his decisions. Jay Fern touched on the Polanco thing. Why is he not on the fucking IL? Like, why haven't we IL'd him yet? And I heard Mendy the other day, oh, we might IL him. Just fucking do it, man. This guy the other day is taking swings and he looks like he's gonna collapse at any moment. I'm confused with that. I'm confused with the mistakes that the team is making on the field. You brought in a new coaching staff in here. You brought in a new hitting coach in here. You brought in the immortal Kai Correa, and it feels the same. It feels the same. You got new players. You exiled some of the other guys that were here, some of the homegrown guys, which I was open to, because I thought last year ended so poorly that I was open to anything, like anything, and truly anything, not just those specific guys, but I was listening to anything, any ideas that Met fans were bringing up during the offseason. I was all ears, because I hated the way I felt down the stretch last year. And to have it happen again with, different coaching staff, different players, it's still April. I want to preface this, and I hope in a couple of months from now I can go back and laugh at some of my takes or some of my reactions to it, because we've seen baseball seasons change like that. And all it takes is one win. But it just feels like a continuation, and it's mind-boggling because of the coaching staff changes, because of the players that have changed, from a roster standpoint. So how I'm feeling confused, sick, down, like all the negative words that you could think of. That's me right now. So I know we'll keep talking about it throughout the stream, but I'm not feeling good about the team. I wish I could say different. I hope I'm wrong. So that's where I'm at.
OV,
Yo,
you're in Chicago.
I'm here, bro. And
you outside?
I'm definitely outside, bro. I had my fandom questioned. I had my own fandom put into question. with this recent little shit streak, bro, we have more losses consecutively than we have wins. All right, so that's a problem. My fandom is continuously put into question by other fans and my own damn self. I wonder sometimes, brother, is it not worth following this team this year, but is it worth the headache? Is it worth the roller coaster ride? And I keep telling myself it is. I'm going to continue to fan. I live close to the stadium. I'm in motherfucking Chicago. I'm a few blocks away from Wrigley Field right now, bro. This series for me is going to be a telltale thing. If we leave Chicago and I'm not impressed by the type of ball play that I see, I don't know that I'm going to be going back to many games for a while, man. I'm not going to continue to pay for a product, my hard-earned money. First off, invest my own fandom and emotion. Take days out of my summer. I love summer. I'm a very outdoorsy person. I'm not an indoors, locked-in, screen time kind of guy, bro. I like to be social. I'm outside. Baseball is one of those things that I love to do in the summer. I like to watch a game, like to hang out with the fellas. If they're going to obstruct me from enjoying that, I'm going to start pedaling back a little bit, bro. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to continue to support the team. You can call me a fake fan. You can call me whatever you want. But I'm not going to continue to invest my hard-earned money or emotion, which is also not finite, which is why motherfuckers crash out. And I'm in the same boat as Jay Fern and Swift and them. I'm not. You don't hear me wilding out in spaces. You don't hear me overreacting to things. You don't hear me going crazy over the slightest thing. If that's how you fan, that's how you fan. Passion over apathy all the time. But personally, bro, I like to keep my head on the swivel because I went through the 2024 season. I've been through the 2015 season. These were the lowest of lows and the highest of highs. These were scripts that eventually were written, that were finished. This is a script that is being written currently. I don't know how this shit's going to end. It's either going to be the Worst Team Money Can Buy Part 2, or it's going to be OMG, the remix for real, or some other shit. Either way, bro, something's got to give this year. And I am fucking vexed with this team right now. I say that as somebody who flew the fuck out here to see them play. Great ballpark, by the way. If you ever get a chance, sidebar, to come to Wrigley Field, do it. I don't care if they're playing the goddamn Colorado Rockies. This is an amazing experience. I'll get into that later. This team right now, bro, has me at a crossroads, bro. I don't know what is going to happen to me as far as my fandom goes. I'm not going to stop rooting for this team, but if I pull back a little bit, stop going to games, you know what I mean? Steve Cohen might not have, you might win some, but you just lost one type shit is what I'm saying, bro. A silent majority kind of quiet boycott. Long-winded way of saying, bro, if the team don't get better, you're not going to see me at the ballpark. You're not going to see me around. You're not going to see a lot of fans like me around. Call me a fake fan. Call me what you will. I'm going to continue supporting. It's always let's fucking go Mets. Queens get the money. But that's where things stand currently. Top, what you got?
Oh, man. Man, I sympathize with a lot of y'all in terms of this frustration. I think the worst part about it for me is, you watch these games every single night, day, whatever time it is, and you know that these guys have the resume to be better than what they're showing on the field. And I think that's the frustrating part. The approaches at the plate, it's not them. What we're seeing from Lindor is not him. We've seen Bichette put consistent at bats as being one of the top options for the Toronto Blue Jays. So what you're seeing from him is not him. Same thing with Polanco. Like, even though Polanco started getting hot, he's starting to get cold a little bit. He's swinging at pitches outside the strike zone and starting to get back to a little bit of what he was last year. And it's not him. And I think that's the frustrating part, is that the approaches at the plate are unlike these guys. The inconsistencies on the field are unlike these guys. This isn't them. So when you're seeing this on a night-to-night basis, and to Ovi's point, like, we go to these games. We take the time out of our. I mean, me and Pope, we're season ticket holders. I've been a season ticket holder since 2022, and I've been there when I became a season ticket holder in 2022, and it looked all good up until the end of August. Shit fell off the wheels at the end of August. You lose 2 series back to back against teams that you're better than, and you're thinking, nah, it's just one of those stretches. You're not prepared to end up losing the entire month. We got to a point where Eduardo Escobar was our savior for September to even keep us in the wild card. Otherwise, we probably would have missed the playoffs that year. And then you go into a year of 2023 where you don't make the playoffs. Then when you're not expected to make the playoffs, you make the playoffs. Then when you are expected to make the playoffs last year in 2025, you don't make the playoffs. So this up and down inconsistency of not knowing what you're going to get is very frustrating. And again, I don't take these moments for granted. I'm happy that we were able to and witness 2024 and the way that it played out. But I need people to understand when I got guys basically telling everybody, yo, we just signed the president of baseball operations, but what has he done? You guys are popping bottles for a guy that, yeah, he's gotten the team that he was with before to playoffs, but he hasn't won championships. If I'm not winning championships, what the hell is the point of me celebrating? If I'm not making it to the World Series year in and year out, it's a failure to me. So y'all got a guy in David Stearns who, yeah, this is what your Pope wanted. This is what your owner wanted. But this is not who we're going based off what you want. It's not to say that it's going to be success. I got guys like that are frustrated and complaining of, yo, he hasn't done anything yet, so I ain't going to celebrate. It's true. We haven't had a full year from April up until October of successful baseball with David Stearns. His first year, we played like shit, and we overcame that because of 2 guys. Let's be real. If it wasn't for JD Martinez and Jose Iglesias, this team probably would have not made the playoffs in 2024. Let's be honest. And Francisco Lindor, who had to literally break his back to get this team into position to be in a wild card. And then in 2025, you had a failure of a season. And now it's looking like you're going to duplicate that again. So again, he hasn't had a strong year of success to say, yo, I have something on my plate for a full calendar season that we can live by. He hasn't had that. So now we're going into optimism again, and we're going into a situation where it's like, where do we go from here? The worst part about it is that, let's say by the grace of God, let's say knock on wood, because I do think we do make the playoffs, right? I think this is just something that the guys are just going through. I think they turn it around. They're veterans. They know what they need to do. They collectively are going to come together. But let's say if we don't make the playoffs, who's to say that 2027, even if there is baseball, right? Who's to say that 2027 is a year of success? Because from what I'm seeing, you got a 1 year left of Luis Robert Jr., who's not guaranteed to come back. You got a Bo Bichette who has 2 player options that's not guaranteed to come back. You got Marcus Semien for another year or 2, who looks like a shell of himself. So there's no guarantee that these veterans that you brought in are going to come back and help Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor. Then what you have to do is bank on kids. You want to know why? Because our free agency pool up until 2029 isn't strong enough to say, hey, I'm going to go sign free agents because I like my pool. No, it's thin as fuck. This is why it was important for them to get Kyle Tucker. I get it. You swing and you miss, right? So their pivot was Bo Bichette. But you swing and you miss. You got to hold them accountable for that. So now you're banking on kids to really help you and get through that, because there's no guarantee that these veterans that you signed and replaced with the other guys that you had here before are going to come back and get you to another year of playoffs. And that's the frustrating part right now, is that until we see some sort of consistency with the team as a unit, it's looking like we're headed to another year of disappointment. And again, for a lot of us that give the time to them to put our hard-earned money, to put our time in where we could be with families and be like, yo, now we're gonna go. We're missing birthday parties because we're telling them now we're gonna go to Citi Field today. And this is the product that we're seeing right now. And it just looks like these guys are lost, and it's unfortunate.
Word. Top, get to some comments, my brother.
Yes. First and foremost, shout out to the 99 that's chilling with us on this beautiful Thursday.
Appreciate you,
Appreciate you guys. Like I always tell y'all, make sure you subscribe to the Queens Baseball YouTube.
That's right. That's right.
We got King Mez in the building. He says,
My cousin is watching right now.
yeah, everybody.
Familia,
Yes.
pa familia.
That's the one that was just talking.
Oh, shout out to the she's gonna kill me. Let's
Damn,
see.
that's crazy.
Let's see. King Mez quoting what Randy said. Lindor, you got to make that play. Come on, Lindor. It's 2-on-1. Make that play, Lindor. I started this comment from G Money Stacks. Shout out to G Money Stacks who put this comment up. He says, "What was Steve Cohen thinking with that tweet?"
Oh, don't get Pope started on that.
No, let's talk about that. Right?
Go ahead,
Let's
bro.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Just real quick before you get to the comment.
Mhm.
It's one of those things. Is his team, like 50% of the fans gonna tell you, yo, it's his team, let him choose what he wants, right? Lucky to have him. My only thing about that is not everything he says is gold. You know what I'm saying? Like shit backfires on you, my brother, and it's backfiring you right now. And also, people didn't feel great about the comment that you said, the tweet that you said 2 days ago. Like, hey, man, whether Marcus Semien might hit a home run, Lindor looks better.
Bro, nobody wants to hear that shit.
Juan Soto is running. The
Nobody
fuck?
wants to hear that shit.
So no one wants to hear that,
It's
especially
like,
after a
come on.
loss like that. So not great. Now it hasn't been for me personally. It hasn't been a good week for Mr. Steve Cohen. We'll go. What's the next comment, bro?
Absolutely. G Money Sucks says, "Wow, what a throwback Thursday, Inspector Gadget." Master Flip says, "Randy gone wild." We got a couple people just putting laughing emojis. Master Flip says, "Not the mistakes."
The mistakes, bro. The mistakes. Mistakes.
Mistakes.
And Randy was another one who was calm before that, and then he just exploded and
real
got
calm.
again.
Come on,
It was crazy.
calm. Randy was like half asleep half the time, bro. He motherfucker
Yeah.
charged up.
Yeah, he was charged up. Ricky,
Shit,
before
his
the
batting
live match, we
pack
got to
is
play
all the
that
way
Randy
up.
shit one more time, though. But
Yeah, we'll play it. I got it on deck.
And by the way,
whenever.
Flip, shout out to you and anybody who's on YouTube and is commenting. So I appreciate y'all.
Truly.
Yeah.
Big up yourselves, yo.
We got our guy from Subway to Shay, Anthony. Shout out to you, man. Make
Oh,
sure
yeah.
you subscribe to that. He says that 1 a.m. space was everything. We needed that. Go gadget arm. Shout out to my Queens baseball fam. He says we are all numb to this shit. And then he gives Jay Fern some love by saying Jay Fern has been so consistent on Stearns. Gotta give him credit for that. Absolutely.
I
Can
got
I
a
pull
comment
up
about
real
that.
quick, Top? Real quick.
Yeah.
Can I want to share my screen because
Go ahead.
Anthony mentioned this, so why not? And I went into the archives, Jay Fern. I hope you don't mind, but this was a tweet from 2024.
This is the infamous tweet, right?
This is the infamous
Oh
tweet.
man, this is the
Yeah.
tweet that I would. You remember that meme of the Popeyes lady when she was tired and she was sitting down? That was me.
Mhm.
That was me after that day, boy. Jesus
Hogan,
Christ! Look
Hogan,
at you
right?
now.
Yeah.
Yo, go to some of the comments in this shit. This is crazy, son.
Yeah.
You know what? I think our boy is like one of the first ones updating. My bad, Anthony. I didn't mean to do that. I was trying. That's why I zoomed it in. I didn't want to. But yeah, there's some comments in there. He
it's
didn't
a
say
great
nothing
tweet.
wrong, but it's
It's like
some,
Hogan
you know,
said,
some
I'm
pushback
burnt out,
there.
brother.
I'm burnt out, brother.
I
Prophetic.
mean,
Jay Fern.
we were giving Jay Fern shit for that tweet. Like we didn't all agree with it. I mean, listen, I've been a Stearns, you know,
I'm my
apologist
boy Shannon
fan.
Sharp.
I've been a fanboy, so
What's
I
Pope
didn't agree
say?
with
He's
that.
not wrong. He's just early.
It
He's
goes
just
back
early.
to what I said in my
Jay Fern wasn't wrong. He's just early.
and it goes back to what I said in my take just now. I mean, I was one of the people that was kind of siding with Jay Fern just because he's brought that team, that Milwaukee. Remember, he only has one team of success. And I mean, Houston per se, if you want to put that into to say, but from doing research, he didn't really have that much hands on. He was basically like an assistant. He had full control of Milwaukee, but he didn't win them a chip. So you come here to the New York Mets again, you don't have gold under your belt as the leader of that. So it's like, I understand it. It's like, until you bring us a championship, why are we making it seem like this guy's the head of the table per se? Like, what has he really done? So I kind of understood that. He got flagged for that because everybody was like, you know, it's Cohen. King Cohen can't do nothing wrong. Instead of them kind of understanding, like, he does have a point. Like, let's let him do what he needs to do and see if he can, you know, we can't just be all happy. We gotta let that, we gotta be real. You know, he has a lot of pressure on him. So I
And
understand.
guys, Todd, before you go for the rest of the comments, again, I always say this every week. Yo, when it comes to support, that shit is free and it's shameless. Send the fucking YouTube link to your chats, your fantasy football chats, your Met fans, your baseball fans, because we want this shit to grow. So we do this shit every week, but we also want it to grow. So don't be ashamed, man. I'm sending this shit right now as we speak. Top, go ahead, my brother.
Absolutely. King Mez, as we were talking about the Jorge Polanco thing, said that Mendy mentioned how his foot had inflammation, cooled down, and then flared up. So I don't know, I don't know how you feel about
IL
that.
him, bro. He should have been IL'd weeks ago, bro.
That's bursitis, bro. Bursitis is just like chronic joint inflammation. If you get too much of it, it's just overworking the same range of motion, and he just needs to chill. Like he needs to stop either doing box jumps or work on his calf strength or stop doing sprints for a while. Otherwise, that shit could get worse, bro.
Anthony with another comment. He says they are looking like they're clocking in and out right now.
That's the perfect analogy. That's such a good analogy.
Yeah, checked out.
2024 wasn't a good year for the Mets if you look at in between the lines. Absolutely. Yep, I agree. Lynn in the building says banking on kids is exactly.
Okay.
And is/was, but with the guys like Beatty and Vientos and Benj ? So, and then we finish off with Subway Shea. He says a huge reason for this team's failure right now is the fact that Alvi, Beatty, and Vientos haven't matured into consistent and competitive MLB players. And yeah, that's
a fact. They're just as culpable for all of this. And we were talking about in your space the other day, Pope. We got to stop babying these guys. They've been with the team for 3, 4, 5 years now. There's expectations for those guys. Now, I like to call them like those guys aren't even Steve Cohen draft picks, right? Those are guys that were drafted. Well, not Bench, but obviously the Mauricios of the world, the Alvarezes, the Beatty, the Vientos.
Before Epler.
Yeah, the Wilpon, bro. They were Brody guys. You know what I'm saying? So
that I wanted to.
Most of the Epler though. The good ones are Ep. So
but
we're building a statue if we could just fucking win a couple of games.
Miss hot take, but I feel a little bad for Mendy, who was given these guys to work with. Stearns is the biggest one to blame, and I always question these decisions. So I just want to.
We're gonna talk about that in a couple minutes.
Yes.
Was that everything?
I kind of agree. Agree with that too. Real quick, Pope, before we go to I agree with that. I don't know what you guys feel. Listen, Mendy hasn't been perfect, but this team is just not hitting. I mean, we'll get into some of the offensive numbers. To me, that's the main thing. Again, there's been some decisions there. There's been some lineup questions, but if you scoring 1-2 runs a game, getting shut out, what was it 3 out of 5, whatever the fuck it was. You can make any decision you want. You can call for this guy in the bullpen. You could do. Listen, man, if you're not scoring runs, bro, you're not going to win. So I kind of do feel bad for him, and to a certain extent, I hope Charles had his Charlie 100 had his ears covered with that. But yeah, I do kind of feel bad for Mendy a little bit.
I don't, but I get what you're coming from. So before we get to Mendy and some of the decisions he's been making, I am not a believer in Mendy, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's do our new segment. What is it? The Pope's math?
I think it's a math time with Pope. Math time with Pope. I think we could work. I think we could work on the name.
We had a conversation in the space the other day, and it was like the path to one game over 500. That was us winning the last game. That everyone in the space convinced me we were going to win that last game. I knew we weren't, but I should have stick to my guns. It would have been better. So it's the path to 500, and it's going to get us to 19-19. So go ahead, Ricky.
2 equals 3.
All right, let's go to Pope's math. There you go.
1 + 1 = 2.
Red fish, blue fish.
1 + 2 = 3.
Knick knack, paddywhack.
1 + 3 = 4.
Give a dog a bone. So, all right. So, real quick, I'm gonna make this shit super quick. All right. Yo, can you get the schedule up real quick?
Yeah, I got you. Give me one second here.
He's gonna put the schedule up. I'll be really quick with this. I know Jay Fermi want to say a comment from before, but we'll go back to that. So we play the Cubs, right? Cubs, Twins, Nats, right? You can zoom that real quick for the people.
Oh yeah, let me zoom
So
that in
Cubs,
for the
Twins.
peoples.
Let me make sure I get this right. Cubs, right? Twins. I think I got it right. Rockies, Nats, right? Am I mistaken? Right? Rockies, and then Angels, and then Rockies again. Ooh, sorry. Well, hold on one second, guys. My dog.
That's a sign. That's a sign. I'm just gonna say it. That's a sign.
That's a sign.
It's like,
Oh,
he was
man.
like, the dog said, "Yo, you about to make an argument for the Mets to go 500 in these next whatever amount of games.
Said,
We
turn
not
that
doing that right
bullshit
now."
off.
Ovi can
Yeah.
attest. My dog is not racist. How about your boy?
Ovi has never said that. Ovi said the opposite.
Ovi did say he was not racist. I didn't know Ovi was allergic, by the way. You should have said that before. But we got you straightened out with some bourbon, some whiskey. Anyway, real quick.
that was what it is.
All right, so
Here you go.
Cubs, Twins, right? All right, so
Right.
this is the path to 500 and to turn. So again, we gave you the negative. I never even heard Jay Fern, even though he's not a negativo, say some shit like, "Yeah, sell the team, or sell the players if we don't do well." So we can't do that, right? That cannot happen. That cannot happen. We need to figure out a way to turn this season around. It has to go with this. It's gonna take a while though, guys, because there's not that many sweeps I'm about to give you. But while Ovi's there on Friday and Saturday, you win 2 games. You're gonna lose the Peterson game, okay? So that's the Cubs. You go 2-1 against the Cubs. Okay. 2-1 against the Twins. All right.
Okay.
2-1 against the Rockies. You lose the Nats series. I just believe that the Nats are good. I think they're solid. I'm not saying they're gonna make the playoffs. I think I said this before. If they win 75 to 80 wins, with the Marlins being annoying, the East is gonna be wild for the Mets. Might not make the playoffs, but let's say the Nats are still gonna play 500 or near 500 ball. We're gonna lose against the Nats. That's the only time I have us losing in the next couple of series. We go and we finally get a sweep against the Angels, right? The Angels will be next, right, Ricky? Yep. Angels will be next.
Yes.
Okay. Angels are next. Then the Rockies, 2 out of 1, 2 out of 3, go 2-1. That gives you 19-19. After that, obviously, if you continue to play this way, it's gonna look different, right? The season's gonna look different. Now, 19-19 is not great, but when you get yourself 12-7 and 12, it's you got to get yourself out of it. You got to get yourself out of it. That's how I'm trying to give you some positivity. Before I get to some of the conversations I had with David Stearns, I know Jay Fern has something before.
No, I mean, we're going to talk about Mendy. I'll wait till then.
Okay, so yeah, I'll do the Mendy shit after this. So, Ricky, do me a favor, if you can. Give me the payroll. Give me the payroll, because I want this to make sense to the people. And give me some,
give me a second. Yeah.
Like we say in DR, dame Lou. Give me a close up, because this is what I feel passionate about. I've been saying this shit for 2 days in the spaces, and I don't think David Stearns is a bad baseball mind. I think he doesn't know what the fuck to do with the money. That's super important. The money is super important. Follow the money, guys, right? My example that I gave the last 2 days was this. Okay, you win the lotto. 60 to 70% of folks that win $5 million or more, some shit like that win the lotto in, wherever the fuck the lotto is, go bankrupt. Why? Because they don't know what to do with the money. They just go crazy. I think this is the example of it, right? So let's start with Mr. Smokes. I know we've been talking about Frankie fucking Montas for 2 fucking years. So let's start with Frankie Montas. He's there for $17 million. Hold on, my fucking computer's acting up again. Give it 2 seconds, because I can't see it now. All right, we'll do it fucking live. I don't give a fuck. We'll do it live. All right. So Frankie Smokes 17 million. Oh, there it goes. 17 million, but 34 for 2 years. I know we're eating 17 of that. That's 34. Tribal Thief, Mania, right? That's 25 million. He's not bad, but he's not a starter, right? So what does that mean? Like 25 million last year, 25 million this year, 25 million next year. That's 75. Marcus Semien, you made a trade for Marcus Semien to actually save money. So that's the interesting part, right? And I know a lot of y'all are saying that it's early, and I'm not saying you're the positivos or not, anything like that. But let's have that conversation. We traded almost $100 million of Nemo to get off the years, not really the money. You're only saving 29 because you send the Rangers 5 million. Now, all these numbers are gonna confuse the fuck out of you. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to my point. Okay. But that's really what happened. You saved your net 29 million, but you're not getting the production, right? You're not getting the production. Okay. Polanco, Polo. What the fuck? First of all, bro, you just met the guy. Let's not do nicknames with some motherfucker that hasn't really hit for you. Polo, his name is fucking Jorge Polanco.
We'll
And
call
he's
him
making
polio,
$20
bro.
million. 40 million. 40 million for the year. So I'm gonna do it by the year, and I'm gonna do it by the duration of the contract. So this year alone, 17, 25, 26 for Simeon, but it's actually 31 because you had to send the Rangers another 5 million. So that's 31. $20 million from Blanco. That is 93 million for this year. A total of 220 million for 3 years, or technically 2. I know Thief has another year, and we haven't even gotten to Bo Bichette, which I think we all can agree he's gonna get out of wherever he's at. He's starting to hit one hit here, one hit there. I think he had like even a little hitting streak. There's going to be time. I want to give him more grace more time, because if we add that money, that's now you're talking about a whole year payroll. I think he doesn't know what to do with the money. He likes to spend it, but not on what he should spend. Brandon Nimmo wasn't a good contract for him. Pete Alonso wasn't a good, and I actually kind of agree with this one. I don't know about 5 years with Pete when you're gonna play 162 games at first. So I kind of had the argument, but you replace him with Polanco. It's just spending the money. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me where you're spending it. 75 million for the Tribal Thief. Yeah, some of us were happy. Most of us wanted Sevi at a lesser cost. Give me the young guy that throws 98. He was 30 at the time that he was going to get the contract. So was that his year 30, 31, 32, or at worst 31, 32, 33 seasons? Come on. Give me some fucking Sevi. My point is that is $220 million that could have been allocated better. And that's our issue right now. It's not that we spend, it's how we're spending it. I think right now, I mean, let's give him some props. Clay Holmes, a steal. We got to give Clay Holmes an extension. You know, I think the Williams, I know he had a bad game yesterday. That was wild. I think the bullpen pieces are all going to end up working out during the season. Minter, who's an $11 million opt-in. He opt-in. I feel that that's going to be a good contract. My point is, if you're adding just those 4 players, guys, without adding Bo Bichette, $220 million, B. Just on that, you could have spread that shit out way better than this, including, for my opinion, Brandon Nimmo. All right, so that's David Stearns. David Stearns, for me, needs to figure out that he has the golden ticket and use the money a little bit better. Use the candy a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Spread it out a little bit more than that. And don't get desperate. 75 million for the Tribal Thief wasn't it. There was a lot of pitchers that year. You just had to go an extra year. So you save on the years, right? But now you got the Tribal Thief. You could have thrown a 4th year to pitcher X, and now this is back at the end of 2024. This is not even this year. There was a bunch of pitchers this year too. But you got me Freddie Peralta, so I can't complain. You know what I'm saying? So Mendy. Okay. Here's my thing about Mendy. And there's many examples I could give you, but I'll give you one from yesterday. Devin Williams. Every day we got to keep Devin Williams. We got to keep Devin. No, he's gonna close. There was a couple of games that you lost by 1. Mind you, the Mets last year had 4 shutouts after 70 plus games. They already have 4 shutouts in the first. This is before we lost the last couple of games. 14 or 15 games. We had 8 shutouts all year. We were shut out 8 times. We were shut out already 4 times. So something's wrong with the offense. So I get that. I understand that. And if something's wrong with maybe his roster construction, his lineup. Brett Beatty had a mishap, 70% chance to grab. We were there when that happened. Nolan McLean to grab the ball right field, and then you start him the next day. Williams, he hasn't pitched in 10 days. Let's put him yesterday when we're down. It's not just the hitters, man. Mendy's fucking up too. So that's what I have on Mendy. I think, does that mean he has to get fired tonight? No. But does it mean that we could question some of his move? Yes. Sorry, Jay Fern. That was mad.
No, you're good, bro. So I want to go back to your little David Stearns thing. So my only rebuttal to that is that you're putting Polanco and Simeon already as a loss, but they've been here the same amount of time as Bichette, but you're giving Bichette grace. Doesn't make any sense to me. I think you should remove both of them due to the fact that they've been here the same amount of time. So why are you giving Bichette grace but not Polanco and Simeon? It just, I don't understand that. But hey, that's your thing. I can't hear you.
Sorry, this mic does it by itself. So good question. The reason I'm doing that because I'm canceling out Simeon because we should have kept Nimmo. I was very strong about that the last couple of days. The issue with Nimmo was, hey, you're not playing outfield anymore. You're not playing left field. Well, there's a DH position. But for some reason, and this has been the 5th year now that we've been having the DH, the Mets organization does not believe in having a true DH. They never did. Nimmo was it, but they didn't decide to do that. That was a decision that they did. So that's why I'm putting Nimmo Simeon on that. The only Polanco and Simeon is the history that I'm looking at. Polanco has had a lot of injuries. Yes, last year was his best season of his career. Simeon has great years. It's been 3 years now, though. We're going 3 years now. So if it was just like 1 year, I would have not had him on this list because I'm like, yo, Simeon's going to bounce back. But this is the 3rd year that he's struggling. So if you want me to add Bo Bichette, I will. I swear to God, I will.
You take out the other two because if you're giving Bo Bichette the grace, then they need the same grace as well. Like I think it's unfair that you're doing that. You can't.
Bo Bichette then.
It's a 19-game sample from those two that you have playing for the New York Mets. I don't see why they're being added to as a bust already.
Do you think Polanco was a little overpaid? AAV
for $20 million, probably.
Right,
but that's what you got to do sometimes.
Do you believe that Marcus Simeon, his contract was a little bit bloated for his production the last 2 years?
But that's that the Mets didn't sign him for that contract.
Right,
that's
but he made the decision to trade for him.
Okay. I know they did. They got him for his glove. It wasn't. You can tell it wasn't for his offense.
That's the problem.
He's coming. He's coming here with hopefully a fresh start, just like the same thing as Luis Robert. It was a fresh start type of thing, and it was one of those like, well, let's see if we can strike lightning in the bottle, and we haven't. But to put him so far, but to put him after 19 games, I think that's unfair. If you're gonna give the same grace. If you're going to give the same grace to Bo Bichette, then they deserve it too.
I do want to piggyback off Jay Fern just a little bit on the Marcus Simeon thing. I think we forget that when the trade first came down, we were more ecstatic on the fact that we got a better defender at second base than offense production. We said that at 36 years old, if Marcus Simeon could give us at least close to what he was the year before, then that's a plus. But we were more looking at it from a defensive perspective than the offense. So that's kind of why I see where Jay Fern is coming from, because we were actually happy that we got better defensive production than the offense. Even though it is still frustrating that he's not giving us anything offensively. We're
absolutely.
Production.
So what you got, bro?
I think one of the things that because I too have been going back and forth on a lot of these signings, and I'm with Jay Fern on the sense that there's a very small sample size, so I'm not going to write off Polanco or Simeon or any of them. I do want to get into the thought process behind some of the decisions that Stearns made, and if we're gonna do the thought process of why would you trade for Marcus Simeon, the understanding was you want to get out from the final 2 years of that Nimmo contract, which we all agree that those final 2 years of that contract is gonna be bad, right? He's not a good defender. He's not a good defender. He's probably not going to age that well. He wasn't playing that great in left field. Then we found out at the beginning of the season that, oh, actually, we're going to bring up Carson Bench, and Juan Soto's going to move to left. So where was Nimmo going to play? And then the idea was, well, you just upgraded the defense up the middle at second base. But up the middle, you had 9 defensive runs saved at second base last year. So that wasn't a position that you necessarily needed to upgrade, right? And then you talk about Simeon's bat kind of regressing over the last couple of years. And then you're like, and shout out to Christopher Soto, who's a guy I follow and a lot of Met fans follow.
Yeah.
He wrote something that really made me think and really kind of changed my perspective on it, which was, he said, let's say Nimmo was washed in 2029, right? Very likely, right? Which is the final years of the contract. Just send him to the bench, right? The Mets literally just did the same thing with Starling Marte for the last 2 years at roughly the same salary. And he was kind of adequate in that role. And Nimmo has always been a stand-up guy, and he's always been a good. So to me, the thought process behind some of the decisions are worrisome, right? What are you going to get from Marcus Semien? We were told that he's a leader in that clubhouse. Then we found out that there was a beef there. We don't know what the story was, who the question was. So now it's kind of like, oh, Polanco had a great year last year. Oh, but he's also kind of damaged goods. He comes in with this Achilles issue, and will he or won't he go on the IL? And I don't know where they're kind of making those decisions. That to me is what is a little worrisome about this start, is that we're looking for positivity, and we're saying, like, look at the back of the baseball card. Bo Bichette is fine. Bo Bichette is going to hit, right? Bo Bichette is gonna eventually start hitting better, right? That's just what he is. But when you look at the type of player that Bo Bichette is right now, where he's beating the out of the grass with every single ground ball. He is beating the crap out of the grass. And it feels like he's not lifting any of those any of the balls, he's not lifting any of it up. And it seems like, whether it's a whole hitting philosophy, whether it's just the whole malaise, and we're talking about, I think one of the comments that somebody said was, well, they're all clocking in and clocking out.
Yeah.
And it feels that. And so, like, a lot of the decisions that I see, and especially, and that the offensive numbers are going to improve, but you saw what happened last year. When we weren't hitting with runners in scoring position, we were still winning games because our pitching was really lights out, right? Our pitching has been decent this year, but our hitting hasn't even come close to, even though, and we were complaining last year. Do you remember how much we were complaining about that? Yeah. And we were actually winning last year. And that was to my earlier point, where it's like, when we think about a lot of the math in the Mets, I think it's the thought process behind the decisions. And listen, if we were winning, it'd be a little bit less of a stressful situation for us. But because we aren't, we're out here, and these are all valid. Like, will Marcus Semien ever come back? He's not going to be the 2022 MVP that he was, right, on the Blue Jays. We all agree with that, even this year, right? But we were all, I think we were all under the idea that if he plays competent second base, we're good, right? He holds it down, gets the eventual hit here and there. And then
his second base has been good, like really good.
His second base has been good. It's been solid. Yeah. It's not that. Bo has been a better third baseman than we probably all gave him credit for. Remember in spring training, we were like, oh, some of those throws, they're not looking good. It was like Bo Bichette. It's actually coming. He's all right. You know what I'm saying? Carson Bench, he's coming along. He's coming along a little bit. And then you look at all of the guys. I agree. I get why Pope is saying, like, man, some of this math ain't mathing right now, because they're big crooked numbers on some of these guys. They're just not coming through. Right now, it's the results. We're angry at the results, not necessarily. And trust me, we're all smart baseball fans. we're Met fans, so we're emotional about that shit. But we're all smart enough baseball fans to look at the calendar and be like, "Oh shit, it's still April 16th." And you know, I'm gonna do shameless self promotion. It isn't until my birthday on April 20th that I really start being like, all right, I can see some trend lines with like what's going on. Like right now, we're having a space. It's gutter. It's trash right now. So that's where I'm at right now with that.
But before Ovi goes, first of all, you, Swift, Jay Friend, and Top, you're making too much sense. Watch your mouth and help me with the sale. That's number one.
Yeah, the only thing that I can say about Bo Bichette, bro, he must hate the worms because the ground that those ground balls.
They hate to see him coming, bro.
Jesus Christ, him and Beatty. Oh my God.
I don't know, maybe the Blue Jays had. I mean, obviously they have a fucking superstar like we do too in Vlad, and they had like a deeper lineup, and Bo Bichette just fit there better. He's getting adjusted, or a lot of rumors is that he's injured. So I hope that's not true. I'm recovering still, but I can't. So I'll retract what I said. So they're not bust yet. It's only fucking 18 games. Where are we at? What's the record again?
Yeah,
19 games.
It's 7-12. We're 9-12.
So 19 games going, but it's not looking great because I think, me personally, I think some of y'all agree with this next point. Simeon trade for Nimmo made you uncomfortable, at least some of us uncomfortable. It kind of opened the door for a potential outfielder. That was Tatis. That was Mr. No Chin in the Dodgers. I don't know how he folds his clothes. Ricky, you're right. I saw you. How does he fold his clothes? If you know, you know. But the Polanco deal was strange to me. Injury history there. Definitely a contact hitter, switch hitter. Makes sense for a super duper utility DH. But that was one of your guys. And when you got Simeon before that, okay. And you got Robert, which was a good deal. I mean, Acuna's not doing shit. And even if he did, come on, we needed a center fielder. That made sense to me. You know, I know he hasn't been hitting lately, but he's gonna end up being bounce back year for maybe player of the year, bounce back player of the year. Hopefully, if he continues like this. I know he hasn't been hitting the last couple of days, but my point is, I think I felt those are the two moves I felt uncomfortable with, right? So I feel uncomfortable with Tribal Thief. Smokes, forget it. Frankie Montas, go back to the spaces, man. I hated that deal, right? So the Thief, we like the deal, but I'm gonna do a cop out. We're fucking Met fans, right? 75 could have gone many different places. Just add another 25. My point is, it just feels like he gets a little bit happy with the high AAV short-term deals. Is what I'm trying to say. Because Polanco's not worth for $20 million. We all know that. Maybe not a bust yet. Looking bad, but not a bust yet.
It's concerning.
Simeon, but that. So, someone wanted to go before OV or my bad?
No, I'm just saying it's concerning. That's all.
Yes, definitely concerning.
Yeah,
for sure.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. It's just that it's a 19-game sample size, so I can't do it yet.
93 million out of the 381 million this year alone. Would it be better for him to just have like a number that he's not gonna pass? Are the Mets better at 300 million? I don't know. Bo Bichette has 43 million out of that, so we haven't even talked about him. Yeah. So, but Ovi, go ahead, my brother.
I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of money allocated to dudes that aren't producing. It's as simple as that. It's 1 + 1, and there's a lot of dead money. I feel like there needs to be some type of. This is just a super basic take. Trade deadline. Get a humongous bat to clog up the DH spot. That's really it. Get it. Stop with this versatility shit. You got the money. You're a new money GM. You're a new money Pobo, bro. My first order of business would be go out there and get a fucking thumper who can barely run and just clog up the DH spot. You want to allocate resources, bro? Go get somebody who could do that first and foremost. There's enough of these. I feel like Stearns, one of my nitpicks with him is that he tries to reinvent the wheel. He tries to do the Moneyball sequel shit, the Sundance moves. You don't always win with those, bro. Sometimes you just need one of the old school steroid slugger, left-handed masher, high OPS cats, bro. Just do that. Go ham. As a you know,
Lives in Houston.
yeah, he definitely. There's a guy in Houston that I'm thinking about that I don't want to get. You know, I'm not gonna get too zealous because it's not even Swift's birthday yet, and we're kind of wilding about trade. So I'm not gonna. But y'all know how I feel about that. The more this season progresses, you're gonna see the narrative be pushed. But all that to be said, man, a lot of resources allocated to motherfuckers that are not producing, and there's only a finite amount of time that you can allow before that shit goes south. Shit ain't adding up.
Math ain't mathing.
Math
For
ain't
now.
That's it.
Tom, go ahead, my brother, with the comments, and shout out to the 100+ in the Twitter and YouTube.
Shout out to all of you degenerates. Yes.
160.
Thank you, man.
guys.
We appreciate y'all.
Like and subscribe, please.
Please.
Word.
No shame, no shame, baby. Come on.
Send it to a friend, and then tell that friend to send it to another friend.
Yeah, man.
Send it to your aunt. Tell her to send it to a
We
coworker.
Everybody got YouTube, man. Everybody got YouTube.
Coworker after that, and then the coworker after that. Like let's get it out there. Anyways, Patty in the building. She says the Nats are always an issue. I think this was going back to the schedule when we were going through it. We got JB in the building. He says the Twins are hot recently. Yes, it ain't easy, man. We're going to the Cubs, who are playing a little bit better than we are, and then we got to go into a hot Minnesota team that's coming here. So let's see. Diablita out here making assumptions that Mike Trout is on that good stuff. So shout out to her. I'm actually scared of the Angels. Mike Trout is back on that stuff. And then she said, hashtag drug test Trout.
Yo, after that
He
home
was
run,
crazy, though.
my goodness.
Yeah, he's back.
Bro.
He's him again.
What he had 5 home runs in this Yankee series, right?
Jesus
Something crazy like that.
Christ.
First player to hit home runs in 4 consecutive games at Yankee Stadium. Think about that.
And somehow we're gonna sweep them, but that's what the Angels.
Yeah, I don't.
We got a good question here from Tony HVAC. He says, would Nimmo have expected a full-time DH role? Question mark. Good
So
question.
yeah.
I will say this in the reporting for the Pete Alonso situation, they had approached him about being a DH 5 out of the 7 games. So I don't know that they were going to put Nimmo there. But again, if you had that's where the calculus of how are you going to put Carson Bench on this team, have Soto, have, and then when the Luis Robert Jr. trade happened, all of those things kind of started making sense once they realized, the Nimmo trade, obviously, because look at the timing, the Nimmo trade happened very quickly with the Rangers early on in the offseason. Stearns found a guy to get that contract out. It was really about the contract. And that's where, like, now you're just seeing where it's like, why is the contract on the New York Mets a big contract? Why is that an issue?
Right.
That to me, it comes back to that. It comes back to, like, you can play that game when you're in Milwaukee. You should not be doing that when you're, with the richest owner in Major League Baseball. That's my
Absolutely. Gomez in the building says, I'll be less worried about Polanco, but be very worried about for Simeon. 2 things can be right, and I think that goes back to what we were saying about the trade between Nimmo and Simeon. We got Tank in the building. He says, "Yoo-hoo."
I agree.
But Top, real quick about the Nimmo shit. I think Nimmo's the type. He's a team player. I think he would have done it.
Oh yeah.
He would. You know what's funny? He would have been playing a lot of outfield this year, regardless of him starting
For
as a DH.
Listen, I mean, for a guy to sit down with the president, with David Stearns, and be like, "Listen, if this is what you guys think is better for the team, I'll do it." I think that to me screams that he'll do any role. He'll take any role that the Mets put for him. That to me,
I'm assuming that, but I could be wrong.
No,
So-
I mean, yeah, but again, just based
Yeah.
off of that, I earned a little bit of respect, more respect than I already did for him, because you're talking about a guy that's the longest tenured Met on this team. He's been through the ups and downs with us out of anybody on this damn squad. So for him to do that, I think he earned a lot of respect from me on that. We got this guy in the building. I keep forgetting his name. Oh, this is Frank. He says it is way too early
Frankie Perks.
it is way too early to say anything definitive about the Nimmo trade. He's usually a fast starter who tends to fade some in the dog days. Plus, there's no guarantee his body holds up.
April 16th,
Frankie
yeah.
Burks.
It's April 16th. I think, yeah.
And then we got Tank. Tank says Soto started slow and frustrating with us last year, and look how he did. Third in MVP. He finished third place in MVP. Well, I think second. Third is second.
Second, yeah.
He should have been
Sitting like 182 with runners in scoring position at some point.
He ends up putting another comment that says Stearns depends on too much on quote if he can replace last year or the year before that, or quote if he can stay healthy. Stearns needed to target and go in on all the constant mother efforts. 100%.
The biomechanics, and this is something that he talks about, keeping guys healthy, the way that they've been slow playing Luis Robert Jr., right? He has a big injury history. They've done a good job with that. Remember, he started off spring training a lot later than most guys because they wanted to ramp him up. I mean, he believes in that, and it hasn't worked for Polanco yet.
Right. And then the last three comments here. Frank says, no, Boy Wonder's reputation with front offices is that believes he has found a way to do a better way to do something like Moneyball. He uses blend of analytics and I can't even say that word right now, and high-level education aspects. Trust me when I tell you other front office find it comical. And then San says, wish we could get Yordan Alvarez for DH, but that's a pipe dream. And then Patty ends it with Stearns didn't want Nimmo Alonso, period.
I mean, look, it's one of those things, right? Like, I think we all agreed that the core had to be broken up. It sucks that we have this sucky start, right? The weird, not to make, Ricky, that'd be great. The weird, start of the season, the West Coast. I know I'm making excuses, but I have to because it's weird. I don't like to use this excuse, but cold weather. It's funny the Mets leave and it's fucking NYC. What the fuck is going on? It's 95 degrees the last 3 days. It was 30 degrees a week ago when the famous tweet of 58%. So it's a little bit weird. The team had to just tread water. I always say this: a good team could start after 20 games, at least be 2 games with 500. And I always use the 11-9 record because that was the 2000 year. The 2000 year when they made the World Series, they started off a little slow, but then there was such a talented team because the 2019 was fucking ridiculous. 11-9. So they're not there. They're not on pace to go 11-9, but as for future starts, hopefully they get to a point where there's just a couple of games over 500. You just really got to tread water when you start. You don't want to be here though where you're at. And standings, real quick. So
looks like, I want to say shame on those 58% who didn't show.
Well, that too. Hey man, shout out to the 42% that did show, right?
So what? Don't get free tickets and don't use them.
Don't get free tickets, don't use them. Amen to that, bro.
Yeah, and make sure you guys check the temperature before you go out there.
That too.
Oh, wait, that was already tweeted with that. That's right.
No, I heard the live last week. Yeah, no, I heard it. You guys said that shit. You guys rocked out last week.
It was so good when we couldn't hear any of the opposition talk.
I know it was. That's not how everybody feels, though. As you know.
Listen.
You guys read the caption and not the picture. Okay?
I said, I think we're all getting emotional about because the team ain't winning. I mean, if the team were winning and the owner was talking, I mean, we were doing that. We were shaking ass for his tweets a couple of years ago when we were winning. I mean, when times are going to get better, and he calls out the 58%, I mean, Pope might not fly off the edge, but it is what it is.
Yeah. My man got to stop tweeting, but how about the fans, man? How about the 58% of people that don't want you to tweet? All right, so quick update on standings. The Braves look like they're good. Might have to change my Shay. I wanted to put them. You guys convinced me not to. Braves are 12-7. Here where it gets weird, right? So the Mets are dog shit right now, right? Right? That's what everybody thinks, right? But the rest of the East is under 500. So everybody's either 3 games back, 3.5 games back. What the hell's going on with whatever happened there with the Phillies? It's crazy.
They're old.
They're old, yeah.
The Mets are not taking advantage of a couple of things, and the Phillies are one of them. I'm not
Mhm.
saying they're gonna keep with the 8-10 record, but they don't look right. There's something going on with them. We lost 8 in a row, and we're only 5 games back really early. The Central 11-8, Pirates, Reds 11-8. Was wrong about that team. The Cardinals, remember them? They beat us 2 out of 3, 10-8. The Brewers are 10-8, and the Cubs are 9-9. So everyone's a half a game or a game and a half. By the way, the Cubs, who we're going to play, have been scoring a lot of runs. They have a plus 19 run differential. Going back to run differential, which I love. We suck at negative 14. The Nats are negative 10, but they're like should not be 9-10. The Phillies are negative 25.
Whoa.
That's really bad. Worse than us. And if you go to the Braves, plus 44. That team, I don't think is going nowhere. Almost as good as the Dodgers, who score a bunch of runs against us. Shout out to the Padres every freaking year. The Padres only game and a half back. So Dodgers 14-4. No surprise there. The Padres, a little bit surprised, hot start 12-6. The Diamondbacks, the Popes D-backs, I should have fucking picked because I knew they were gonna be all right. 11-8. We struggle against them, even though I still feel we're gonna beat them 2 out of 3 when we go over there. San Francisco doing bad. Colorado is Colorado. Do we even talk about the East? The American League East, whatever. The Rays are in first place, 11-7. God, I'm gonna throw up when I say this. The Popes fucking Yankees. Oh God, 10-9. They've been struggling lately. Bullpen issues, not scoring as many runs. And today, even Max Fried got hit up a little bit. The Orioles 9-10. Blue Jays 7-11. The Red Sox 7-11. The Blue Jays is like the Phillies, whatever happened there, negative 25 run differential. What the hell is going on in baseball right now? The Red Sox, who started really slow, still struggling, negative 9 differential. Twins are 11-8 in the Central. Guardians 11-9. The Tigers, who started winning some games now, are plus differential with the runs, plus 13. And then the Popes Rangers, but not the Pope Seattle Mariners, are not in first place. The Rangers are in first place. Everybody's in the West. Everybody's close to each other. So it's Rangers, Athletics, Angels, who are 10-10. Then you got the Mariners and Astros tied for last place at 8-11. I guess my point is, where all those fucking numbers are, they might as well doing the Pope's fucking math shit again. Everybody's close. I know it doesn't seem great. I know it's copping out a little bit, but let's be real. It's baseball, Susan. Come on, man. We're fucking what? 2-3 games. Let's do this now. Why not? Let's click the wild card. Calendar time for the Pope. Let's do wild card. The New York Mets are only 4 games back from the last wild card. What's up?
Holla at your boys.
Let's go do them. So
hey, just to go back on the San Diego Padres, man. Shout out to Mason Miller. He had like 30 innings or some scoreless streaks. That guy's throwing gas.
30+ innings, bro. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
I know a lot of Padres fans. I know a lot of Padres fans were tight about the guy they gave up, who ended up being the number 1 prospect. But damn, you got yourself a hell of a fucking pitcher in Mason Miller.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing next year you might put him
Could be
as
a starter.
starting rotation.
Yeah.
I want to see that. Sorry, Ovi. I know I spoke over you. Go ahead, my brother.
The gift that keeps on giving.
No, that's all.
Yeah. So, Swift, what you got, brother? You are muted, sir.
You're muted. There we
Boomer.
go.
Boomer. Boomer alert. Anyway, the Mets. I want to talk. I want to bring a little youth back. You know, since everybody else's rookies are allowed to get 90, 100, $40 million contracts and be superstars. I mean, we're going to talk about the Mets of tomorrow as we wait for the Mets of tomorrow to finally show up. Anyway, the Mets Miners Report is brought to you by nobody, but we are looking for sponsors here at Queens Baseball. We are capitalists. We all are. There we go. I knew that was coming. I was just waiting. The Mets The Mets, just a little bit of news around the minors. The Mets, shout out to Steve Cohen. Sorry, Pope, hold your ears. He completely funded a brand new facility in DR. Very, very important when we're talking about the international prospects and what that does in terms of getting guys to buy into what they're selling. Their number one guy, they just got Wandy Asigan. They signed him. They got him away from the Yankees, as a matter of fact. I feel like a lot of those DR prospects are now going to see the Mets as like a really, really big player in that. And this way the Mets can kind of target those top tier prospects. A couple of the guys I just want to point out, guys that we were all shaking ass for, we think can play a role this year, potentially. And just in general, Christian Scott had an outing, 5 innings, 2 hits, 7 Ks, looked really good. Nick Morbido, that's a name that some of y'all that maybe we want to think about, right? In a little bit. He's hitting 275, 490 with an 823 OPS. He has 3 home runs already. My man hit 7. My man hit 7 over the last 2 years. So that's kind of a crazy thing to think about, because Nick Morbido and another guy that we're going to talk about, the thing has always been, is the power ever going to come? We'll see. AJ Minter, he was in Brooklyn tonight where he's continuing his rehab. Little issue, topped out at 92 in his one inning of work. He faced 4 batters. He threw only 6 fastballs. I don't know whether it was part of the script. I don't know what it was. All good. Dylan Ross was kind of a weird thing. He's on the 40-man roster. Dylan Ross was a guy that started, and then they pretty much told that he was going to be pitching in the backfield, so he didn't really have a spring training. You didn't really see him in spring training. There was a reason for that. The Mets really haven't released too much information. Anyway, he threw a scoreless inning today. So looking like he's back to full health, I guess. Ryan Lambert, perfect 8th inning tonight with 2 Ks for Syracuse. That's 4 straight scoreless appearances for Ryan Lambert. That's another guy that we think can be
soon, right?
Yeah, soon this year.
Dicky Lovelady, not a good.
I mean, now that Lovelady, you know what I'm saying? And
not a good day for what?
Dick,
he's gone.
Cash. It was Dick for cash today.
Oh my God.
In many states that's illegal, but apparently in baseball it's okay. But we're not going to talk about it. And he got traded to Washington D.C. Matter of fact,
there you go.
So you know what's going to happen, right?
That's crazy,
yeah, man.
You know what's going to happen.
This is a guy that this is a really deep prospect cut. Randy Guzman in Single A St. Lucie smacked another home run tonight. He hit 2 home runs last night. That's 10 RBIs in his first 11 games. So that's a guy. He plays first base. And our guy AJ Hewing, 389, 1078 OPS to start the season. And he played,
I love it.
Playing second base. I'm just saying.
Second and center, right?
You might second and center.
PCA redemption.
You said it. I didn't say it. I don't want to jinx it. So that's my guy. And then finally, our super duper star at Single A, Elian Pena, 18 years old, 914 OPS, 4 stolen bases in 9 games. And if I'm gonna just stay with me, because I just want to share something. Let me see. Yeah.
My favorite part was the AJ Hewing.
I don't know if you guys are seeing this right now. I'm just gonna wait because all right, here we go. This is your boy AJ Hewing. This is your boy Elian Pena stealing home base. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about a guy. And by the way, for people who are prospect hounds, that guy Wandy Asigan that I talked about earlier, people think he's better than Elian Pena.
What's that about?
And that's the crazy thing. And
Yeah.
Elian Pena is a better hitter. He's probably not going to be a shortstop, but he's going to be out there. But
future's
that is
bright.
the Mets Minors Report. We're going to keep bringing you good news, even when our trash major league team doesn't give us good news. There's some prospects that are guys that we want to keep our eye out for, obviously, and hopefully we'll see them at Citi Field soon. I was about to say Shea. That's crazy. But
Before we go to our used to be Nolan McClain, who's not a prospect anymore, I do want to mention some negative. You said it's a positive, but let's be real. Let's be real, son. Can I be real, son? I am no longer a believer on two individuals. It's early though. Just in AAA, Ryan Clifford, whatever happened there, batting under 200, and my guy, Stop Asian Hate, the Canadian Missile himself, Jonathan. So I didn't want to forget this. So I'm gonna add a last segment before the segment to the last segment. I have a trade in my head, and I don't know who is going to be the recipient coming back. It has to be a big bat. I have three names. Either whoever the hell's hitting, Mark Vientos, Brett Beatty, so one of those two.
Both?
Jonathan and Ronnie. So this is like a decent trade. We're talking about top prospects here. Two of the top 6 and another fringe top 10, and Ronnie, who's a guy who's a major leaguer. What do we get back? I need a
cash consideration.
Fucking bat. Could be a DH, could be a first baseman. What do we get back? Is that enough to get a big bat back this year?
We get a lot of cash considerations for that right now.
Wow.
Right now.
Damn, it's like that. Holy shit.
Nah, bro. Come on.
Not
Flip
fucking
through
you.
and fucking. Nah, bro.
You
That's
guys,
what I'm saying.
yo,
So think
y'all, I'm not
about that
gonna
trade.
start the narrative. It's too early. But I said in the chat who I want.
I know.
I
Can we
think
say the name
somebody
or no?
put in the I think
One
somebody
of-
put
one
in
of the names?
comments, too. Hold on, let me see if I can find. There's a comment with that name. Let me see if I can find it. Hold up. Ooh, okay. Is
The
this the
pipe
person
dream.
you're talking about?
It could
The
be.
pipe dream.
That's the one.
Shout out to Sam.
That's-
Shout out to Sam.
That's the
I
one.
didn't say
Shout
it.
out to Flip too. He said it
Shout out
last
to
year.
Flip, because Flip definitely said that. I won't. I just have a trade in my mind.
I just
That's
I
perfect fit.
love Flip, but come on, man, he's made trade scenarios for 80% of
I
this
was
league.
gonna
know.
say if Flip said
Yeah,
it,
what I'm
then it's
saying
not.
is
I mean,
Wow.
Flip is traded for every single player in the league. I
Flip
love
has
you,
done
Flip,
more
but one
jersey
of these
swaps
trades,
than Stearns done moves.
one
you
of
see
those
where I'm at,
trades,
though,
one
right?
of those trades are going to come true. Absolutely, and I will give him his flowers. But come on, man.
He hit with Loopy Bob, so
Quick,
I think as long as we don't get a jersey swap, I think we're good, right? I think that's the.
I see it.
I
You
think
don't
that's the
sweat,
dream.
but I
So.
see it. I see the vision, Diablita. I get it.
Tatis.
it doesn't have
She
to be
must-
Yodan,
is
but
she drinking?
somebody like him.
Tatis?
Devers? No.
He said, "Is she drinking?"
Devers? No. See? No.
No.
Bring him back in the East.
No.
How about we do this? Let's give me some highlights. The Dodgers game. Nolan McClain. See what we can see about him, because we haven't talked about the best news of the whole week. Like, this guy is nasty. I was trolling Randy. I'm not saying, yo, shout out to the Yankee fans, psych, and the Yankees organization, psych, with their guy Cam. Right? Shit. I'm
The
not
guy
gonna say
Cam,
it.
yeah.
You know who? Cam.
Cam HR violation.
He's a hell of a pitcher.
Can't shizzle. That's it. Cam shizzle. That's it.
He's a hell of a pitcher. Love what he did against the rival Red Sox. But me and Randy went back and forth for a week. I finally won this battle. He finally today said, "I'm sorry for all the things." He apologized. No way in hell you take Cam over Nolan. This is why this man is nasty. I know we're gonna see some of the highlights for both games, but Yamamoto versus Nolan, amazing fucking baseball.
That was a great matchup. That was
Heavy
a great
finish,
matchup.
brother.
Hernandez with two
Never
outs.
never
And he
back
strikes
down.
him out with a cutter. Dodgers tie it though, 1-1 after one.
4-in-a-row retired by Yamamoto since the Lindor home run, and Brett Beatty coming
We
up.
don't want to see Brett Beatty
His
striking
best
out. I
pitch.
mean,
And here's
You have to.
Why do we want to
to
see
get
that?
through this shit.
That's fine.
Another one for Yamamoto.
Will Smith leading off the inning had the first and
Here we
only
go.
hit
This
up to
is
this
it.
point against McLean. It was a one-out
This
double
shit.
in the first.
Got him looking.
Get to this.
Third
What a
strikeout for
frisbee.
McClain, one down to the fourth.
Now here's Freddie
This
Freeman.
is a Hall of Famer we're talking about here.
Freeman.
Look at that shit.
This
Back-to-back strikeouts to start the fourth.
Nah,
Look
that shit
at
was
where
pay-per-view.
he's
Yo, you
swinging.
saw his. You
Have
can see
you-
his panties, bro.
Have you
Yeah.
seen? Have you
Fourth.
ever
Now
seen
here's Freddie
Freddie Freeman look like that?
Freeman.
As a result of the Mets pitcher.
I've only seen one
Twice.
pitcher do it to Freddie like that, bro, and that was Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah.
I love that for him. I love that.
Freeman.
Jesus. So let me ask you guys, because I know you guys are into the advanced stats and all that shit. So I always hear about Nolan McLean's RPMs and the spin that he has, and you can see it as clear. I mean, you see some of his fastball moves, his cutter, like the guy throws so many pitches. How is I feel like I saw the number, but if you guys can explain it, Swift, I don't know if you know it off the top, but
Bro, first of all, Rick, using
does it
way too many
relate-
words that I can't understand.
My bad.
Watch your mouth. I'm with the sale, bro. Come on.
The spin
Too many
rate.
words
My bad.
right
I'm
there, bro.
talking Swift right now. I'm
He's a
talking
good ass
Swift.
pitcher, bro. What is all this?
Yeah.
ERA, yes, right. Swift, help him out.
But
Swift. I don't know what he's talking about.
How does the spin rate relate? His spin rate relate to the pack? Like, is it that much more? Is basically what I'm trying to ask. Is the RPMs that much more than other guys in the league?
Yeah. So average spin rates, right? On an average is around an elite spin rate is around like 3,000, a little over 3,000.
Jesus.
Your boy is doing 3,400. Okay.
What?
So when you think about and I think Rick, if you could pull up Pitching Ninja, who I would encourage everybody to follow.
Yes.
He
Good call, by the way.
shows you the overlays of what pitchers or hitters see, and when you think about a pitch that's coming right down the middle at 97, and then you see that same guy throw it, and it's coming right down the middle, and then that shit does a U-turn right before it gets to the plate. That's what's called tunneling, which is like you see a hitter has about a quarter of a second to kind of like react to a pitch, and so they're basically guessing up there. Like, I think he's going to throw a fastball right now. McLean has so much movement, and a lot of times you'll see it. It's a little wild because sometimes you'll see those pitches, and there was a Pitching Ninja thing where he said that one of his pitches looked like it teleported. Like, that's how much movement he has on his pitches. And so when you talk about spin rate and you talk about like RPM, the break, and it's also like the vertical movement, right? We were talking, and there's been a lot of really smart Met fans that talk about like pitching and stuff like that. Shout out to Frankie Perks, who does
What up?
talking about it in Spaces, right? You talk about like, why is Jonah Tong so hittable, right? Hope hates Jonah Tong, but why is it? Because everything is north and south, right?
Boy thinks.
So if a guy, even with his funky, like that's the pitch that he was like, look at that
Top of the zone.
Maybe there was another one, but there are pitches where he's all north and south. When you talk about a guy that can go from north to south and then east to west, and you just have zero, and he has
Ohtani lined to left to open the game.
that go in every single direction. You're talking about like you're guessing
Ohtani lined to left to open the game.
There's like literally nothing that you could do but hope and pray. And that's why when you see a lot of the pitchers, and the interesting thing was people were like, well, Yamamoto got more swing and misses. Guys that face Nolan McLean think because of how much movement he gets on his pitch, they don't even take the bat off their shoulders, right? They're just hoping that it'll go away from the strike zone. And then he'll throw like a cookie fastball, right? And they'll be like, oh shit, now I got to guard against it. So like the thing about him, it's tunneling, it's movement, it's inverted break, it's all of the things. He matches all that. And you think about it, he and add to the fact that dude's just a gamer. Like, use all those terms. He wanted that matchup. He wanted to come out in the 8th inning and all that to match Yamamoto. And I love that. You know what I'm saying? And he's just on the brink of what he could be. And I'm just like so excited because the dude just feels like he could probably see another increase in his velocity, right?
I mean, so that's
And
crazy.
make all his other pitches like suddenly take a leap. Because if you got to guard against 98, right?
Oof, good luck.
Yo,
Jesus
King,
Christ,
that's-
Tank.
Shout out to
That's-
Tank, man.
you gotta go 98. Yeah, man. It's like to shout out to all the people that used to drink Incredible Hulks in here. If
Oh,
you
God.
know, you know.
God, you know,
That's,
you know.
that's a night full of Incredible Hulks is exactly
Word.
like trying to face Nolan McClain, brother. It'll give you a headache and
Word.
it'll leave you dizzy. And that's what makes him so good. And shout out to Patty dropping the knowledge. So
Let me read that real quick. So Patty says Nolan, known for an elite high spin curveball that frequently registers over 3,400, with the top record speeds reaching 34.51 RPM. Which again, I told Ricky I don't understand what RPM is. He's disrespecting. Watch. I'm with the sale. Okay, his curveball characterized by extreme movement, 20 inches off horizontal. BRK. Swift, what the hell does that mean?
That means I just looked this up. Average major leaguer throws a curveball at 24 to 2,600 RPM.
Jesus.
Your boy is 800 above that. Okay.
So yeah.
So when you talk about like there are guys who throw it a little bit more tighter, but like the guy, he just not only having that, but also the break, meaning like that's how far away from where the ball starts and where it ends up. We always hear the old term we used to hear was 12 to 6, right?
Yeah.
It's under 6 right now.
Six,
yeah, I don't even know where the clock is at this point where that shit drops. That's how crazy it is.
Again, so if you're using way too many words I can't understand, so watch your mouth. Help me with the sale. But it's
Again,
the same thing.
That's only one of his pitches that he throws at an elite spin rate.
But this is my point, Swift. Like, I want to get to this last question for y'all. And it's like, I think what happened on Thursday, Tuesday, right? Tuesday game? Yeah, the Nolan game was Tuesday, right? That's it was Wednesday, today's Thursday, right? So what happened on Tuesday is he solidified himself as the ace of the staff. I think we can all agree with that, right? He did that. So here's my question, because Charlie 100 came to the shout out to the Discord. Go to Queens Baseball.
Yeah. Pull up
the actual account. DM if you don't not already. We're having so much fun there. You're gonna see a little bit of a different Pope. Watching the game with the Pope is a little bit different than the Spaces. I'll tell you that much. Charlie 100, Black Charlie said, "Yo, we gotta get," because he was mad that we're losing the game. We gotta get this. We gotta get Scooble. I said, Scooble, my man, he's right there, right in front of you in your TV. I think we already have our number one. I think Freddie could be a serviceable number 2. You got to give him an extension. Clay Holmes' extension as a number 4 is stupid already, right? So my question to y'all, number 1, do you think Nolan McClain is the number 1? And if is the target a crazy number 3 to add to that 1, 2, 3, 4? We have the 5s and the 6. Kodai Senga could give you could be your. I think you said it's in space. Your 5, your 2, your 3, your 4, but he's going to be one of the top 5 guys with letting Peterson go. Obviously the Frankie Smokes contract is going to go.
I would say, but your mic went out. But I would say this: I think you still make an effort to go get Tariq Skubal. I don't care that we have Nolan McClain, because if you think about it, you need to secure as much great elite pitching as you can, because what you see is when you even in the midst of some of the worst slump, we were in that game up until that bullshit bloop single against the Dodgers that were destroying teams, right? And all because we had a guy go 7 innings and having the Dodgers, the best team in baseball, damn near cursing at each other. You know what I'm saying? We remember that because we had DeGrom, right? We had DeGrom, and my man did it on 2 pitches, fastball, slider, and that was it. And he used to dominate. So,
OV, you next. So again, Nolan as the ace. My plan is to have Freddie bring him back as the 2. Get yourself a 3. Oof. Swift said, "Fuck it, let's go for 2 aces. Let's do it live."
I agree. Yeah. So, question number 1 is how much are you paying Freddie next year, and are you negotiating with that and
Normal,
saying
the market value, early 30s, late 20s.
Their market value determines he is your ace on paper. I don't think his stock is going down by any means, but I think Nolan McLean's is rising, and he
Right.
could be. I was joking that I was calling him Nolan McSkeens, bro. His shit looked at elite the other night. He's an ace caliber pitcher. I don't know that he's an ace just yet. I think by the end of the season, he's gonna be somebody who call on to pitch game one of a big series. He's gonna be somebody who call on to anchor your rotation next year. So for all intents and purposes, I think he could be the ace. I don't think he is the ace right now. Question number 2. I mean, jury's out. But yeah. My big takeaway, bro, was honestly like, you see any pitcher from the Dodgers, and I hate to bring those fuckers up, but any pitcher from their rotation is basically our ace. And what can we do to not emulate that, but build a rotation that is comparable in skill to something like that? And that's that, bro. And how do you allocate the resources for that? Because that's crazy. Yeah, that's that.
Or top.
Yeah. I think to V's point, I think you got to give him at least a little bit more time before you can definitively say he's an ace. But he definitely does have the stuff to work himself up there. I think you let him get comfortable, see how much he consistently could go through this, and I think, like I said, I think he's got the stuff. You could definitely put him in a big game series. He looks like the type of guy that wants the pressure. He doesn't mind pitching in big game situations, and you like that. And that's what makes these guys aces, is that they come in those big games and they're all for that. So he definitely has that attitude. I think he's on his way to making that, and I think he definitely will get there. I think a couple more starts, we can definitely see him, being that number one option in terms of being that ace. And on the second question, the schoolboy thing is I think that seems like not only is it up David Stearns' alley in terms of the type of pitcher that he wants, but I think that's the number one guy to go to in terms of the pitching market next year. I think you have to Swift's point, you got to be able to grab as much as you can, especially with the circumstances going into next year. You got to be able to grab as much as you can to keep your rotation as sharp as possible. And if you want to be able to keep that rotation elite as much as you can, you go out there and you go get your schoolboy who's still in his prime, age 30, but still pitching at the top of this game of his career. So you got to go get that with all costs. And I think with the pitching that Freddie's been able to give you the last 2 to 3 starts, with McLean being on fire and being untouchable, and then you add a schoolboy to that, you talking about that's your 1, 2, and 3. That to me, no matter how you put it, if you keep Freddie at number 1, McLean at number 2, or you switch that, or if you put Schoolboy as your number 1, no matter how you switch the odds between those 3, and then if Senga's giving you what he's giving you as a number 5, man, you're possibly talking about one of the best rotations in baseball, and that's being for real. So, yeah, I think you can add that with McLean elevating every year. I think you're looking pretty good there in terms of rotation.
Yeah, I mean, look, just to go piggyback a little bit on what Swift was saying about Nolan McLean. So I was reading. So the typical curveball for the MLB average is 2400 to 2800. So that's the typical one. And then now, the guy who always comes to mind, and a lot of people talked about it, was Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw curveball was like considered probably the elite of the elites during his prime, and he only got up to the 2700s. So for McLean to put up 3400, it's insane. I just wanted to say that because I'm like in awe of when I watch him pitch. To answer Pope's questions, hell yes, you go get Tariq Schoolboy, because the way I'm looking at it, if we are bringing back Clay Holmes and extending Peralta, then now I'm looking at Nolan McClain. I'm looking at Tariq Schoolbull. I'm looking at Clay Holmes, Senga, and Jesus Christ, what's the other person? Freddie Peralta. Not in that order, but those are my 5 that I'm going to go to war with. So I just keep putting pitching on top of pitching on top of pitching. Now, do I consider Nolan McClain an ace? Absolutely, 100%. I am taking that man and I'm putting him in game 1 of every playoff series. And if we don't get anything else on pitching, I will be okay with going to the next season with Nolan McClain as my ace. So regardless of the fact, for me, I think it's a win-win because Nolan McClain will be our ace moving forward. I don't care about who's getting paid the most and all that because it doesn't matter. That guy is your true ace. And to have that at a rookie contract, I am good on that. And if we don't get Schoolbull, then we got McClain. So I'm good.
Your mic is out, Pope.
Always. I don't know. I think it does it automatically. Again, question was, do you feel Nolan McClain is an ace? Do you like the plan? So everybody went with the Schoolbull. I would love Schoolbull, Freddie, all those guys. It's just I feel that we won't get the 3s, right? So we'll Right, so we already got Nolan. I think he's an ace, and you add a Schoolbull that pushes Nolan. The Clay Holmes Freddie together, that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be one or the other. If you're doing that, then I would prefer Freddie. I really like Clay Holmes though. I think Clay Holmes will stay to a point where maybe I'm being too optimistic. I think Clay Holmes will probably work on an extension before the season ends. I would love that. I just know he's gonna go for a payday. Maybe it's only maybe he's a tribal thief kind of money, and he's not gonna rob us this time. But he's a real deal. I was so wrong about Clay Holmes last year about putting him in the bullpen. That was a bad take. Sorry, Ricky. Go ahead, my brother.
Nah, I'll keep it quick. As far as McClain being the ace of the staff right now, yeah, I mean, he's got the best stuff. We talked about his competitive edge and his want to use a Buck term, his want to. I just love that, man. He's a dog. Obviously, we talked about his spin rate, the RPMs, Pope, cover your ears, everything that he brings, man. And I just hope he stays healthy. But he's a guy, like Jay Fern said, if we make the playoffs, whenever that is, whether it's this year or the following year, he's a guy I want, starting game 1. Now, as far as the additions for next year, so there's 2. I'm going to give a super boring answer because I don't know. One, what does the CBA look like, right? Is there a salary cap? What is that looking like after this offseason? Because that'll be a big tell as far as, how much money we can allocate to certain positions. Again, I don't know how that's going to shake out or how that's going to work, but we'll see. So that's 1. And 2, what does this team look like? I know I'm going to get killed for this, but if this team shits the bed, this team misses the playoffs, and it's just a complete disaster, I don't know if I want to add that much payroll to this team. I'll leave that take for a later time. But if this team doesn't perform well this year, I know we can't go full youth movement because we have a Soto, Lindor, is under contract. But maybe again, if it goes bad, you'll explore all options at that point. So I would love a Schoolbull. I think as far as just building your rotation, you want to add as many good arms as possible. So yes, I mean absolutely, who wouldn't want it? But again, my answer is based on one, what does the CBA look like, and again, how much money can we allocate to certain positions? And 2, what does this team look like? Because if this team is ass and they're going to perform the way they've been performing the last 100-something games going back to last year, I'm not adding a $50 million player to this team. I'm sorry, I don't care. I rather trade. I rather get a little bit creative in that sense. So that's my answer. But of course, who doesn't want an ace? So it depends on those 2 factors. And if you could bring an arm here that's better than him, quote unquote, next year, fine. I do agree that I don't think all 3, like a Freddie, Schoolbull, and Clay Holmes is happening. I don't see that. I honestly think if we get a Tariq Skubal, I don't think we get a Peralta. Honestly, I think it's going to be Skubal, maybe Holmes, or a lower level guy like that. So we'll see, man. There's a lot of things I need to see personally, and to see if I want to make those kind of investments on this group moving forward, or if I want to strip it down a little bit, take a year to kind of assess, have some of the kids come up. Because if we're gonna deal with this shit, I'd rather deal with it with kids versus a bunch of guys, or what was it, $370 million payroll. So that's where I'm at with it. Yeah, wherever it is.
And for next year, Ricky, this is including Bo Bichette opting in, Clay Holmes opting in, which is not gonna happen, at least with Clay. We don't know about Bo yet. We have $266 million payroll. So if they're gonna go anywhere near, we'll see what the CBA is and wherever the hell is. They could do everything you guys just said, by the way, easily, which is kind of crazy as a Mets fan. Now, after these 8 losses, you don't feel good about saying that, right? So anyway, we could talk about this. I think this is the longest live we had before, but Pablo, what do you think, bro? Is
Nolan McLean is definitely an ace. He's pitching like an ace. You're pitching against the Dodgers. You do that against the Dodgers. That is ace level work, man. He's that amazing what Nolan McLean did. We talk about Clay Holmes. Is he going to get extended? I have no clue, man. But what I will say is I have no confidence in David Stearns to get an ace up here. I think what David Stearns is going to do is he's going to be with these young kids. That is what David Stearns is going to do. He's going to depend on these young kids. He is not going to go get a Skubal. He is not going to get a Freddie Peralta back here. He's just not. It's not in his character. So it is what it is. And I think we're going to do with the Jack Weniger, Christian Scott. Those are going to be your guys. Maybe he'll extend Clay Holmes, give him a little deal. But at the end of the day, Nolan McLean is freaking beast.
That's Pablo,
Appreciate
man.
you, Pablo.
Appreciate you, Pablo. Pablo sounds like kind of like Randy, but it's Pablo, man.
I was going to say, can I wanted to compare the voices because we heard the rant earlier. Can we go to that real quick? Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
Okay, let's
hear the whole rant.
That voice sounds.
Now, this is Randy though. Now that was Pablo. This is Randy. You talking about?
Okay.
Right,
yeah. Let's go
Lindor,
back.
what the?
Let's go back.
Lindor, what the fuck was that? Lindor, charge that ball. Lindor, charge that ball. Lindor, what the fuck? It's 2-1, Lindor. It's 2-1. It's 2-1, and you're not charging the ball. Charge that ball, bro. The fuck you doing, man? How many mental mistakes you gonna have? How many mental mistakes? My lord, bro, it's a whole list.
Careful, Randy. Don't have.
It's a whole.
That's just fantastic.
Oh my god, man! This is
that's what you get in these spaces, man. So, schedule for spaces most likely tomorrow after the game and Saturday after the game. Man, that's just
thank you guys. We appreciate y'all, man.
Yo, like, subscribe, share, hit us up for the Discord. Look out for
Obi. You better take tons of pictures, man. Send that.
Word up. We outside.
Yo,
we got our live.
I'm making Obi wigs for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Oh yeah. All right, guys.
Let's go.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Always Queens baseball.
What I really think is that we haven't even seen the David Stearns team yet. We haven't even seen the David Stearns vision yet.